Hey Ranger Nation, so welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the same thing from Power Rangers now, Michael, who has been asking Hasbro a few questions, and I kind of really wanted to jump on board. So this one is all about the TV show now, about everything that we kind of see. I think that I asked a few questions as well on this one. The first one is, Power Rangers fans should not expect the word super to be in Beast Morphers' second season 2020 title. Now I kind of think this is a very good thing, because Bandai always thought that Mega and Super were the words to be like, oh my god, I'm so excited because it's Super and it's Mega and it's like, it's better than the previous name. A lot of fans got really bored with it. I did for a while, and a lot of fans were asking, would we be getting these sorts of names into it? Now, because they've come out and said, no, you do not expect it, I think it's going to go back to how it was originally, where it's not using these sorts of words, because yeah, you can get excited over it, but when you're using the same sort of thing, it gets boring. So Samurai, Super Samurai, Mega Force, Super Mega Force, Dino Charge, Super Dino Charge. Can you imagine if it just, Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel. You know, if it got to the point where it's like Beast Morphers, Super Beast Morphers, you know, Mega Beast Morphers, you know, it kind of gets boring really quickly and really, really fast. So I'm very glad that they have dropped the Super and who knows, Mega as well. The next question is, in regards to international spoilers, Hasbro says there is only so much they can do, and they like that Power Rangers is an international brand. Well, of course there's nothing that you can do. The spoilers are going to come out regardless, and if people are complaining, and this is the thing that I kind of really want to touch on in another video, if people are complaining about spoilers, like it's not coming out in America first, it's like, okay, well, you can't post spoilers until the rest of the world sees it. You know, it's a thing where everyone can say like, oh my god, I don't like spoilers. But it's like the UK gets Beast Morphers like 6 months later, or, you know, a year later. So does that mean that you can't post anything as well? So because it's an international brand, like other TV stations around the world have purchased this from Hasbro, from Nickelodeon, from Saban, whoever. And of course they're going to run with it. They're not just going to wait for the American series to kind of finish and go, well guys, now we can put it out there. You know, it's how Australia is getting it at the moment. It's like they're not bound by the hiatus. They can release it whenever they want. They could show the last episode if they had it right now, and it's up to them, but they won't, because obviously it's telling a story, and obviously they don't want to spoil the end straight away. So I'm glad that they're okay with the international coming out, like, you know, having it all over the world. Because if they were like, oh, we're going to stop them, it's like, well, you can't, then don't sell it to other TV stations until America has finished. Even though Power Rangers Beast Morphers has the lowest ratings yet for the franchise, Hasbro says they are happy with them. Now, maybe there are two things. You could say that this is your first rating, so they could be quite high to some degree, but because it's so low, I didn't expect that. I thought that the first few episodes, people were loving it and they were going, wow, this is amazing. This is great. I was very surprised that the ratings are coming quite low, but I'm also kind of glad that Hasbro aren't going like, well, we're going to have to go back to what works last time. That's their own Mighty Morphing. Well, maybe they kind of are adding Jason in, and stuff. If they're happy with the ratings so far, it just means that they could easily like say what worked and what didn't work, what episodes were bad, what episodes were good, and kind of focus on that. So it gives them a lot of information back, and that's what I kind of like. Power Rangers Beast Morphers changed the Gold Ranger from a Rhino Beetle to a Mantis because they thought it was more kid friendly. I kind of see that. I didn't expect it. I generally thought it was a Mantis originally. I've not seen Go Buster, but to be fair, I'm okay with that. I think that if it is kid friendly, then that's absolutely fine. Moving on, Hasbro left the Power Rangers Beast Morphers cast out of San Diego Comic-Con because they wanted to focus on the toys. Fair enough. Can't really move on that one. I thought they may have had them for signing, but obviously if they wanted to focus on toys, then they wanted to focus on toys. Is Power Rangers Hyperforce Season 2 happening? No comment. I think it possibly could happen in the future, but obviously I think maybe Hasbro want to focus on one property, but then again, it's not being aired. So you kind of think, oh, so maybe we'll see something soon. Asked if Power Rangers is where it needs to be with the mainstream right now, Hasbro said they are really working on it. They are trying to bridge the gap between kids and other fans so they can be relevant to both audiences. And I actually kind of agree on this one. I feel that when Saban had the show and he brought it back. He was focusing back on what happened back in 93 onwards. He wanted to focus mainly on how the brand was and how the brand would move to the point where, we'll bring in nostalgia, we'll do this, we'll do that. But they weren't looking at the times. And you could see this through the directors and the writers, because they just didn't care about the brand. Now, obviously, I've been watching Beast Morphers. I know it's aimed at kids, but I've been enjoying the series so far. I've been watching the show and I know it's been aimed for kids. And, I can see that they're putting in more adult type themes, but even keeping that kid reference. So they've got the silliness with Ben and Betty, but you've also got the kind of more mature, like, I've never seen in a Power Rangers season where the bad guy manipulates her past lover or past boyfriend to get tech and then just goes, haha, I've been tricking you, where you don't normally see that at all. And that for a show is like, holy crap, that's great. So I'm glad that they're acknowledging the original fans, and then obviously they're going for their target audience. Maybe this is the reason why some of the toys are aimed for the older ones, while some of the toys are aimed for the younger ones. But I've got to admit, I really like the fact that they are really going with the brand and not just doing the same as Bandai, because if this question was asked for Bandai, they would just be like, we're aiming for kids, we just want your money, that's it. And that would really annoy me, but Hasbro seem to be going in the right place. Hasbro really wants to change the perception that so many people have of Power Rangers as an older 90s brand. Now, I will admit, a lot of people think that Power Rangers is for kids. Power Rangers is that silly show that was back in the 90s and no one cares about it. I've seen it in multiple things. When I've talked to people, they go like, oh my God, is that right? Oh, horrible. Or they're like, oh, that's for kids. And even when you talk to people, like when people ask me what I do on the channel, and I say, oh, I talk about Power Rangers, many people go, oh, I didn't know it was still on. So because they want to change the perception of this silly people in spandex fighting giant rubber monsters with sparks flying from the chest, you kind of think, yes, this is good. Like, if they want to change the brand to something older, to change it to a lot more things, and that is a great thing. I generally like that sort of mentality. I think that is a great thing. And I think this is possibly one of the better ways that they can do it. Hasbro admits that they have some work to do fixing the brand's reputation, mainstream stigma. And yes, this is a perfect way. One thing I've noticed, that when the Power Ranger movie news dropped and you had some of the media outlets, they were like going like, Power Rangers, like I think it was Nerdist, like when I saw a very quick video from them on their Instagram or something, and they were kind of mocking it. And it's the same sort of thing where I noticed this when the movie first dropped, that mainly Nerdist were kind of ripping into it in their sort of thing. They were obviously getting the views and the clicks, but they were kind of mocking it. But yeah, again, when I think it was Jessica or Jess, when she mocked Power Rangers, but then when it came to She-Ra, she was so passionate about it. And I think that Power Rangers does have this stigma where it's like, that's for kids. That's, you can't like it. You should grow out of it. You should grow up of it. But you kind of think that this is a brand that's been going on for over 26 years. It should earn a lot of respect. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's still there. It's still a great brand. So I'm glad that they're trying to change the stigma to actually making it a decent show rather than just using the same formula that has not worked for over 8 years, that they want to kind of move into it. So for them to kind of go, we want to rebrand the reputation, they have a lot of work to do about this. But I think that it's also a easy way to fix it, and so far having Beast Morphers back as well as some of the toys has been a very good thing. So let's kind of see if they can change it to being like the top brand again, to make people love it again, rather than have people go like, Power Rangers is for kids. How does Hasbro plan to make Power Rangers more mainstream? I think we just need to focus on our content. Content is king. They also want to make more advantage of their platforms. Their YouTube channel, Netflix, Hasbro Pulse, all mentioned. Now, this is a really good kind of example. You can do things a lot. In the first episode of Beast Morphers, the mayor asks, or says, oh my God, you're making your own Power Rangers. This could do a massive spin-off. Can you imagine a more mature Power Rangers on Netflix? On their YouTube channel, they could do shorts. Look at how Toei did it with that kind of Super Sentai Kamen Rider match thing, where they had shorts coming out. You could easily turn around and get some of the cast when they're not doing anything to actually make something. You know, if say in the next season one of the characters was a blogger, why not have that blog on the website, on YouTube? You know, actually put production value into it. I think that would work really, really well. Netflix, again, have a more mature series. Hasbro Pulse, make certain things available to the rest of the world, make that happen, but then also look at what exclusives. Like, I think when looking at the San Diego Comic-Con and stuff, when you had toys and stuff that was limited edition to only that you know, you could only get it at San Diego, you know, now Hasbro is saying you can get this anytime. You know, I like that. I think that is a great way of moving their stuff. Maybe on their own streaming service, they could have a different series. They could make their own. The possibilities are endless. I would love to be a part of all this because there are so many ideas that you could do, and there's so much you could easily kind of bring to the table. Why does Hasbro think the last Power Ranger movie underperformed? We just want to focus on our next movie and what's coming up. Now, I've kind of talked about this in a previous video, which hasn't been released yet, but I think the reason why the film underperformed is very simple. The film, the director of it wanted a name under his belt. He didn't look at what the source material was originally, and they just didn't care. And you could tell in the whole thing when they'd start talking about how the Zords couldn't move because they couldn't figure out the technology, they couldn't get the walk cycles right. There are people out there in the 90s who made the toys move, you know, and actually get it right. There are other films that have got CGI monsters, have got CGI giant things that could easily be made and do it. You just didn't want to do it. You didn't want to put any money in this. You just wanted to get a Power Rangers name out there, so it's done. Even the suits, like the helmets, I absolutely hated. The body suits were fine. It was also not looking at what the characters were. Now, I was happy with Billy, I was happy with Trini, I was happy with Zach. But when looking at Jason, it seemed like it was just a, you know, how do I say it? You know, it's that opening scene where he's ruining the school or something, and then like they talk about like wanking off a bull. You know, that's nothing how to do it. Or Kimberly doing revenge porn. You know, these are the things that didn't work well. Also, taking this example, Kimberly and Jason, like literally Kimberly forcing herself onto Jason in the deleted scenes. And you know, the kiss was fine, but it went a bit further than you're like, oh, this is a different thing. I also think that like it also underperformed because it wasn't until the last 20 minutes that the film picked up and actually had, you know, Rangers in suits. You also had the whole thing about, I think the director said, like, Rita going inside Goldar was a sexual thing, and you're like, it's a kid's show, you don't need that. For an action film, it's absolutely fine for a, you know, for standalone. But if you're putting it into like the Rangerverse, then no, it didn't fit at all, and I didn't like it. It's still the best one out of the other two, but it needed to change. And I think just because the way, even the marketing was good, but I think they just didn't kind of follow through. And I just think that the storyline was really kind of, you know, Rita being a washed up mummy rather than being freed from a dumpster. That's where the Power Ranger film should be, in a dumpster. Does Hasbro think space or dinosaurs would be better for Power Rangers season moving forward? They just said both are awesome. I kind of think the next one they should do is Tokuja, if they do it that way. I do like dinosaurs, I do like space, so combining those much later on, I think we're going to get the Space Sentai a lot sooner than normal, but I hope that they kind of blend it in so it kind of works. End of the day, both are awesome. We're going to see them more in. I think that was their way of saying, ooh, we're not going to tell you. Hasbro did not sound like animated Power Rangers would be coming anytime soon, but animated that all options are on the table with the right timing. I think that they just really want to get everything sorted first of all. They want to get their branding done. They want to get the series out sooner. But I do think we'll see, possibly in the next couple of years, something animated. And I think that it won't be canon, it'll be something different. So maybe it'll start its own Rangerverse that way, or it's a part of the multiverse and stuff like that. So I think that we will see something, but I don't think we'll see anything soon. But I think an animated Power Rangers would be really awesome. I think it would be something that we would all like, and I think that you could do so much more with that than you can do on with the actors. Hasbro hasn't given any thought to anything Kamen Rider. Fair enough, but it does look like that statement to me sounds like they have got something planned. I think that maybe we'll see Masked Rider, something along the line. Maybe we'll see Kamen Rider. I think that possibly they may do the exact same things with what they did with Go Buster, and bring it into the universe. I think that is going to be really cool. I do like the thought of Kamen Rider being in the Power Ranger universe again. I would love it if Dax was a thing, like he was mentoring, passing his powers along, or, and the powers kind of mutate to different people's DNA. I think that would be awesome, or something completely unique. So I'm glad that they're thinking about Kamen Rider, but I think now it's like, oh, when will that drop? Hasbro hasn't given any thought to crossing over Power Rangers with their other brands like Transformers. Right now, they are still focused on establishing this brand itself, and I think that is good. I think that if you were to have crossing over with Transformers so soon, that it wouldn't be great. It would be a bit boring and it'd be kind of rushed. I would rather them build the brand up for a good couple of years before crossing over with their other properties. Obviously the stuff with Boom Comics, with the Turtles coming out, obviously they did DC. I think that is kind of established, that they've spent so much time working on the comic book series that stuff is absolutely fine. Now, moving forward, would I like to see them cross over with Transformers? Yes, I would. Would I like to see it with its other brands? Yes, I would. But for now, I generally want to see Power Rangers work with itself and establish itself as big as Transformers and the other brands. If they had the right, do they have the rights to Marvel? I know they got the figures, but can you imagine like they cross over with Marvel next, and then they talk about Batman, and you're like, that's a silly thing. I would love that. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe that's a time for another video. But that's generally really it. I enjoyed all these questions. I had some more I will talk about in a bit. I did actually ask some questions on this one myself. Okay, so the sort of questions I asked was, what was the Hasbro's plans for the Power Rangers outside of America? Will we get it all at the same time? I've always been the kind of firm believer that rather than us waiting 6 months or whatever, the sort of time frame is that we should get it at the same time as America. It'd be kind of nice if we had like an hour later, or we had a day later or something like that. It can be done. We've seen it with Walking Dead. I know it's really weird to put Walking Dead and Power Rangers into the same thing, but it can be done. And I think if Hasbro wants to reach a much bigger platform than America right now, I think boom, there we go. We've got it. You could easily do this with like America and UK and the rest of Europe. I think that would be kind of fun, or have everything distributed like quite a lot, quite quickly. That I would like to see. Will we see any spin-off with original new Rangers that haven't appeared in the Sentai? So pretty much what they did with the Spirit Rangers in Jungle Fury, and I just realized the Titanium Ranger. I would love it if they did an entire spin-off where they filmed two things at the same time, or kind of did maybe a Hyperforce thing where they actually do Hyperforce properly. Something like that would really, really work well in my eyes, and I think that would bring more fresh, new stuff to the fandom, to the franchise, and actually get people excited. Rather than having one season, you could have maybe two, have a spin-off. I think that would work quite well. And I would love to see that sort of stuff. I think, very similar to maybe like Akiba Ranger as well. That would be cool. My favorite question that I knew that wouldn't be asked was, when will you name the Red Ranger Mark? I mean, you've used a lot of other names, but never the coolest name ever. Mark the Red Ranger has a nice ring to it, and I would love it if they went next season. I'd be like, yes. But that was my kind of question. I know it wouldn't be asked. So I think another one was, fans have been wanting the series to go back to the whole formula of 40 plus episodes, not have it split into 2 different seasons. Are there any plans for this to happen and not just go back to 1 season rather than 2? I think they kind of really answered that one with Beast Morphers season 2, where it's not super or mega or whatever. So I think they kind of doing it, because originally you do get 40 episodes. It's just obviously 2 different names. So yeah, that kind of worked. I think that one of the other ones, have you considered what the next series after Beast Morphers will be? I kind of really wanted Torcuja. Would they follow the same sort of route again over and over? So you go back to Torcuja to Space Sentai. So it goes in order rather than the kind of jumbled up stuff that they've had in the past. Will returning past actors come back to the show, or do you have any plans to bring them back for different stories? So obviously we've got the team up coming, and I think maybe this is what Hasbro are waiting for to see what the reaction is. So far, it's great. The trailer reaction is really cool. I generally really like that. The fact they're bringing Jason, they're doing the big, massive movie team up. So again, I think that they are going to do that. So it was kind of answered in a way. And then it's just literally, again, quite like the same sort of thing. Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of mature storylines in the show. Will this continue to other seasons? I thought that would be kind of a good one to do. So yeah, there's a lot. I like the mature storylines. I think it's something that shocks, like the whole thing, as I said, with Ravi and Roxy. This was something different. This is something that I would generally really like. So yeah, there's quite a lot in that one. This one's quite a long video. So yeah, I think that's going to be awesome. I know a lot of people have responded to this. I'm going to go read some of the stuff, not record it, but I kind of really wanted to give my thoughts on the TV show, exactly what happened and what we're going to see. So yeah, I'm going to leave there. Ranger Nation, what are your thoughts on this? Did you like what was put by Michael and Power Rangers Now? Go follow him on Twitter, because like literally his Twitter is one of the coolest I can see. If you want Power Ranger news, definitely go sign up, or go follow, shall I say. So Ranger Nation, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you've liked this video, then why not hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as check that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. And as always, Ranger Nation, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.